Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. But let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Throwaway Mono Scared, who says, my monogamous male 36 relationship with my poly fiancee female 35 has broken down. And I'm thinking of leaving her after 3 years together and 2 months from our wedding. I, male 36, am monogamous. My fiancée, female 35, is polyamorous. I'm leaving her 2 months before our wedding and haven't told her yet. I didn't have an issue with her being poly, still don't to be honest. I've dated poly people casually in the past, and honestly we both thought this would be a fling, but we fell in love. We couldn't be apart. We couldn't stop thinking of each other. We supported each other, we carried each other, we moved in together, and we want a family and we want kids. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I proposed last summer and I still love her. We have rules. She has 4 pre-existing partners from before we met. It's a out of sight, out of mind mentality. She tells me who she is meeting, but no other details. Her idea to make it easier for me. Her partners don't live near us, so it's a once in a blue moon she meets them. Some of those relationships are a decade old, so I've never asked her to be monogamous or take it away from her. I've met her poly partners. They are great guys, most of them anyway. As a monogamous person, it doesn't feel great, but I promise to support her, and considering we're engaged, it was working. Why I want to leave her is a few reasons. She has maintained since our first date she doesn't like public displays of affection. No kissing, no touching, hand holding is rare. She said it makes her really uncomfortable, so I don't do it. When she's with her partners though, it's completely different. She straddled one on a bar stool once and rubbed her nose on his cheek. And when they stood up, she rubbed her ass against his crotch, in front of me. Another time, we're in a group picnic and one of them showed up and she kept rubbing her hands between his legs. It's not comfortable for me, but I let it go. She's with me almost the entire year, bar like 4 to 5 days when someone comes in town. But firstly, she's breaking our rules. She knows she's not supposed to do that in front of me. We agreed to it together. Secondly, she never does that with me. Not once, and that's draining. It finally came to a head for me when she wanted to throw a party for us for our engagement because we never had one. One of her partners flew in and to surprise her. She got drunk and if we weren't in public, they would have ended up having sex in that bar. They were running their hands underneath their clothes with me sitting a few feet from them. Our friends kept asking me if I was okay. It was that intense. I had to step outside and she came after me after a few minutes. She started crying. I tried to hug her to tell her it's okay, and she shoved me away and went back in. We didn't speak the rest of the night. Later that night, she wanted to have sex, and I just wasn't in the mood. I started thinking over things over the years that have happened between us, especially when it comes to sex and affection. She's very into vanilla sex. I am not. She's the first person I've had vanilla sex with since I lost my virginity. She doesn't even want to spoon because she says she doesn't like it. I found out she performs anal with one of her partners and does other things that are a no-no in our bedroom with them because she says it's just one night of the year and allows it even if she doesn't like it. She does things she knows I enjoy, but she won't do them with me. I respect her choices, so I don't do them. She's important to me. About a year into us living together, I found a massive dildo in her things. She told me she doesn't like sex toys because they feel too artificial and she doesn't want something like that in her. It turns out that dildo is reserved for one of her partners to play with her because he likes it. It's there for just one night a year when she lets it go. Then I found out she went hiking with one of them and they ended up having sex in public. We were at a private spot at a beach once, and when I joked about it, she told absolutely not. She doesn't do that. I realized I'm the safe option. I'm just the person who she can come home to. Doesn't need to worry about what happens in public or bed. I only do the things she enjoys for her sake. I don't like being the safe option. I used to be wild before I met her, and I don't understand. If these were people who she has a decade of relationships with, why don't they know she doesn't like any of this? I spoke to her about public displays of affection, not even sex, once and asked her why she won't do them with me, but she straight up groped her other partners in public. She got mad and told me I was jealous. My poly friends told me the same thing, that I'm being jealous and that polyamory is about letting jealousy go. Everything I've read online talks about jealousy. Jealous, jealous, jealous. Of course I'm jealous, I'm hurt, I'm human, and I have needs and desires too. Jealous just seems like the umbrella term for an excuse. Does that make me wrong to want to be affectionate with my partner? But I'm the only one who respects her likes and wishes. If someone flirts with me, she's immediately on it. She makes it clear to them that I'm taken. She will argue and fight if she needs to. She tells me all the time that if I cheat on her, she'll leave me. If I sleep with anyone else, she'll leave me. She knows I won't do polygamy, it's not my thing, and I would never cheat on her. The chances have happened, and I've shot it down immediately. I only want her. So I want to end our relationship and our engagement. I love her, but maybe I need to think of myself. I don't want to leave her. What do you think? Like OP said themselves in this story, it felt all the way through like OP is the safe option in this relationship. I personally feel in this one that, of course, this isn't a healthy relationship for OP. The fact that she's doing all this other stuff for other people, but no, you can't do any of that at all. It's all screaming the safe option, and you're not even allowed to have other partners. Well, she can have multiple. She'll leave you if that happens, she says. I can honestly just say, from my point of view, just be done with this. It's not healthy for you in the long term. It's never going to work out in the long term. Just be done with it. But D+ says, you could have just written, I've changed my mind about getting married, and the answer would be the same. If you're having doubts, don't do it. You don't have to justify your feelings to us. You do somewhat have to justify your feelings to your soon-to-be ex, but unless she's a straight-up idiot, she's probably expecting it. In all likelihood, she's known for years that she's been using and taking advantage of you. She has no intention of ever being monogamous anyway. Her only regrets will probably be financial, and she'll get over that. OP responds saying, yeah, it's hitting me that my decision was probably already made when I posted. I just needed some verification. People in our circles keep telling me to be supportive of her because outside of the sex and intimacy, she's an amazing partner. She told me she would consider becoming monogamous if we got engaged early on in our dating history. It wasn't something I was holding on to, and I told her to do it only if she wanted, not for me. That was probably a mistake. I should have been more selfish. Empty Plate says, it's not working for you. You're clearly miserable. Time to end it. She's got weird double standards too. She can fuck others, but you can't even flirt. Come on, man. Yeah, it sucks, but do you want to be miserable the rest of your life? OP says, I don't want to be miserable. You are right. Yeah. Every time some news breaks of some celebrity cheating or we watch a show or movie about cheaters, she always tells me to never cheat on her. I think about that all the time. SCA says, I don't think this relationship is healthy for you. You aren't free to be you. You aren't free to express yourself and your needs aren't being met. Your fiancé has repeatedly crossed boundaries that both of you agreed to. And when you bring this up, she turns the tables and makes it seem like you are the problem. You aren't jealous. You just want to be treated fairly and equitably in your relationship. She is giving things to her other partners that she is refusing you. You have every right to feel dissatisfied with that. I think leaving is probably the best option for you. Sorry. OP says, that's one of the things I don't like, is being told by her poly friends, who I went to advice for, if this was normal in poly relationships, that I'm jealous. I know when we started dating, one of her friends told her absolutely not to date me. He actually told her what everyone else here has said to me, but from the other end. Why would you date a monogamous person? It never ends well. Ooh, but not okay says, what is wrong with you that you accept such blatant double standards and misuse? It's as though all her passions reserved for others and your existence is to provide her comfort in between bursts of wildness. What drives you to accept this for yourself? Get out now. No more slinking around hiding your resentment. Tell her to leave, there is no chance of resolution. Have friends, true friends present. She is clearly a very manipulative and retribution is likely. Do not feel the need for dramatic gestures, explanation or aggression. Be cold and polite. She knows what she has been doing. Words will merely be used against you. Block all of her wretched accomplices. Christ man, she's insisting on an engagement party so she could fuck someone else. She is beyond awful. Act today and stop this passive aggressive crap. This is what has got you into this. Be decisive. And one more from Calvu says, first off, the way she's treating you is a big no, even from the poly community. I'm not sure if I'm poly, but I've explored the community, and when it's done right, it shouldn't be like that. She's holding double standards in a relationship, and that's not alright. Last year, I was in a poly relationship. My mum went to hospital, and I asked him to talk on the phone when I was on my way home because I was not doing well. He said yes, but instead ended up with his partner and ignored me the whole night. That was when I checked out of the relationship. To frame the situation another way, without sex and relationships, when I was younger, I used to beg my mum to go to this one specific restaurant with me and to rewatch Star Wars. But no, the restaurant was too far away and she already watched Star Wars once, so she didn't want to rewatch them with me. Then she got into a relationship and took him to the restaurant and kicked me off the living room TV when my friend and I were watching something so she could watch Star Wars with him. I was pissed and hurt. It had nothing to do with my jealousy over their relationship. But when you spend years putting aside your feelings for someone else, only to have them turn around and do things you begged for with another person, it really hurts. Why was I not good enough to do these things for? Why couldn't she, for once, choose me and my wants over hers and her partner's? Opie then updates the post and says, firstly, thank you to everyone who reached out. I did not expect the post to explode like it did. I want to keep the update brief, but I don't know if it will be. I'm not in the best place right now. I'll try and respond to everyone who messaged me privately. I received a lot of advice from many people. Most was to leave her. Some people gave me different perspectives. Had some poly community members message me their insight too. Thank you. I spoke to her. I told her I wanted to end the engagement and move on with our lives. She wasn't happy. She said she loved me and said this is what she was worried about from our first date. Said she doesn't want things to end. I told her I need more in the relationship. I needed what she gave her other partners. I told her I'm going to be your husband, your main partner for life. I told her I wasn't comfortable with what she does with them around me. I told her she's not supposed to do what she does in front of me. I told her I've taken the advice and spoken to some people regarding it and that maybe being in a monopoly relationship was just never meant to be. She told me she just wants me. She wants to spend her life with me. She wants to have children with me and grow old with me. For the first time in 3 years together, I asked her if she is saying she is going monogamous. She said no. She wants to stay poly. She said her other relationships mean too much to her. She said she won't open up with me physically in public or the things we do in bed until she's more comfortable with me. She said she's known her partners for a decade and she's more comfortable with them. I told her we're getting married. How much closer to me do you need to get? I asked her why she said yes when I proposed if she didn't feel as close to me as her other partners. She just said because she loved me and wanted to spend her life with me again. I told her it doesn't make sense. I told her I can't do it anymore and I won't change her, but I won't keep doing this to myself. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot I love you and I want to be with you on both ends, but hang-ups on both ends as well. We never really yelled or screamed, but we were both angry and upset and hurt. Ultimately, we've decided to postpone the wedding while we figure things out. The engagement hasn't ended yet. I moved in with a relative not far from our own place for now. I think it's over. I've told myself it is. I just feel tortured and hurt. It's been a few days and she tries to call me once every day. I've only picked up a few times. She keeps saying she loves me and we're sorted out. I've had some of her friends, Polly and Mono both, reach out on her behalf. They said they've talked to her about her other relationships and ours. They said she's really shattered and she wants me to come home, but she doesn't want to lose her identity in the process. She came from a very conservative background and coming out as LGBT and polyamorous was a big, liberating moment in her life. They said to their knowledge, she hasn't reached out to any of her other partners. She hasn't reached out to any of her other partners and doesn't want to until we know what is happening between us. My family and friends have told me to do what's best for me. My closest friend told me maybe I should move on. He said 4 days a year isn't worth the torture knowing what she does with others, even if she is a great person. Some of my friends never knew she was poly, and they told me to end it once they found out. They were angry that I would put myself into a relationship like this. They said I was torturing myself for something I should have always known was doomed to fail. They all really liked her. I had couples dinners with some of them at least once a month. I know my first post didn't paint her well, but she was wonderful, supportive and loving. We started dating before COVID hit and I lost my job and she carried us for months. She didn't have to. It hadn't even been 6 months of dating. Some of her friends told her to drop me, but she said no and she told them I'd get back on my feet soon. We quarantined together because she asked me to stay with her because she was lonely. And I know it's because I couldn't afford my rent anymore and she gave me a place to be. She did so much for me, more than I deserved. I spent every day since I picked myself up trying to pay her back for all she did and still does for me. I know a lot of people have used some colourful words in their messages about her to me on here, but she's not those things. I don't want to lose someone that wonderful. Right now I just feel like it's over and I don't want to do anything except cry and I'm a mess. I'm hoping my head clears soon and that I'll know what to do for me. We said we'd give it a month apart and come back to it. So in a few weeks we'll see where we stand. As of right now, I'm considering it over. And I think OP is right in the end there, and I hope it does continue down that path because it doesn't sound healthy, this relationship. OP said that they're considering it over. I really think that's the right thing to do in this one. You asked her, is she going monogamous for you? She told you no. So if you do continue down this path, you will just be torturing yourself further. And why would you want that for yourself? But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from a total munch who says, am I the a-hole for refusing to take my girlfriend to nice places because she eats like a kid? My girlfriend is an incredibly picky eater. Like I said in my title, she eats like she is 10 years old. In fact, I'll give a short list of things she refuses to eat. Unflavored water, fish excluding fried shrimp, anything with bones, cheese other than sharp cheddar, spinach, onions, garlic, pasta without red sauce, eggs, spicy food, aioli, ketchup, potatoes, other than French fries, pastries with fruit, citrus, sausage, or any non-American food. This compares to me, someone who grew up in multiple different regions of the US and lived abroad for a few years, so I'm a bit more adventurous when it comes to food. Whenever me and my girlfriend go out somewhere nice, she ends up getting the same meals, usually either a burger or chicken tenders and fries. We could be going to an authentic Nepalese restaurant, and she will get the French fries and white rice. To me, it's kind of embarrassing to go to a restaurant where there is a dress code and for her to order chicken tenders and fries. It especially bothers me that since I typically pay, I end up paying $15 for chicken tenders that I could get from the freezer section at Walmart for $5. Recently in our area, a very nice dinner place opened up and my girlfriend has been dying to go. I took a look at the place and the menu and saw it looked nice, but the food was kind of pricey. She said she's probably going to get chicken tenders as per usual. I asked her what's the point of going then if I can toss some tenders in the air fryer for her and not spend a ridiculous amount of money on it. She asked why I had an attitude about this, and I told her that I thought it was a waste of time and money to go to a nice place to get little kids' food. She interpreted this as me calling her a little kid. I clarified that I wasn't calling her a child, however it was kind of childish for her to eat the way she does. I also said that if she's going to order food we can make at home, there's not any point in us going anywhere. This led to an argument about me thinking I'm better than her. Am I the a-hole? And we're going to start in the comments with Pilot Environment 46 who says probably not the popular opinion, but I think not the a-hole. I don't see the point in taking her to an expensive restaurant with a very specific type of cuisine and her getting fries or chicken fingers. Why is she dying to go there anyway? Edit to add, some people don't understand why OP just can't let her eat what she wants and not care. I will agree him being embarrassed is silly. Who cares what strangers think? But I will also tell you that a huge number of people have said for them, and many self-described foodies, trying new cuisines or restaurants is about savoring the shared experience. It's about trying each other's foods and comparing flavors, textures, etc. It's part of how they bond with friends or partners. While not everyone understands that, it is valid. OP's girlfriend isn't wrong per se, but it seems like for OP, he wants to share these experiences with someone who enjoys that as well. 5115E says not the a-hole. What's the point of going to a restaurant that is charging high prices for the food experience if you aren't actually going to take part in that experience? To be honest, I don't think you are compatible. Your background has led you to be more inclusive as far as what you eat. I expect that extends to other aspects of your life. Your girlfriend doesn't want to grow past her comfort zone. I don't see how this can work out in the long run. Sherbert Annual says everyone sucks here. Look, I'm mostly on your side until the last two paragraphs. The point of going out isn't always to eat the food or try new food, but to spend time together. Throwing around it's not even worth going out if you only eat chicken tenders is really callous. She also sounds picky but flexible, in that she'll find something at any restaurant to eat, even if it's fries and rice. I think it's a bit crappy you're knocking her for that, when she isn't necessarily inconveniencing you. I get you're embarrassed, but this is who you are dating. Either decide it's a deal breaker for you or learn to live with it. However, I do think she should be paying for meals if she's going to pick a super expensive place. Big Ad says, picky eater here and I vote not the a-hole. If girlfriend wants to go to these fancy restaurants and order basic food, then she can do so with her friends or family. She is perfectly capable of dining out with others. Opie can also choose to dine out with people who will sample all parts of the menu. Maybe this is just something the two experience with others and save dining out together for mutually agreed on places. Jaded Moose says, is she eating what could be called a beige diet? Foods are all close to white, light brown. If so, this could be neurodivergent behavior. If there is a possibility that is the case, you won't be able to influence a change. There is an internal stressor around food. I have a daughter like this, and while thanks to good therapist when she was a child, social skill groups, and real effort on her part, you'd never know she has spectrum on meeting her. The food thing has never been able to be resolved. The dietitians worked with her to create a balanced week that she still sticks to, but food color, texture, and smell really affects her. Maybe this isn't the case in your situation. Just want to throw the possibility out there. And one more from Piccolo Water, who says literally no one other than you is analyzing what she eats. Who cares if she eats chicken tenders? It's not your mouth, stomach, palate, body, so why do you care? I promise you, no server or guest is looking at her plate and judging it like you are. They wouldn't have it on the menu if they had a problem serving it to people. And you are right. Saying that she gets little kid food isn't calling her childish, but it's showing that you think of her as a child. And to her, that's probably very hurtful and demeaning. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.